What up, what up, what up? It's going on. It's your boy Rich. Real Talk with Rich is back in the building. One more again. We here. Happy Sunday to each and every one of you. Man, it has been a crazy week. This weekend was pretty dope. We got a lot to get to. Don't want to prolong the time. Hope everybody has had a wonderful weekend. Like I said, hope your week was amazing last week anyways. But it is Sunday night. This is the first day of the week, and we like to get your week started. Want to shout out to Black Comic Lords and Black Superheroes Forever fam. Want to shout out everybody, that's watching us via YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody be watching us on the replay. Please like, share, and subscribe. And also just pray that if you're feeling generous, man, give a super chat. $1 here, $2 there. No amount is too small to keep this channel going. It's been duct tape and prayers and our pennies. So we need your help to continue to support the channel. But yeah, man, it has been a awesome weekend. As you can see, I'm bald-faced. And so I'm getting ready to grow out my beard. That's why I don't have no facial hair. I'm getting ready to grow out my beard. And my wife was kind of like, she saw me shave. Well, she didn't see me shave, but she happened to notice after church, because we go in separate cars. Shout out to all of y'all that's married and have 2 cars to go in. You can get and go when you need to. Anyway, so she saw me. She said, "Oh, I know you shaved." I was like, "Yeah." So I'm getting ready to grow my beard out. And so she was like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, "Yeah. What's going on, okay? It's good to see you." Church went very, very well. Look here. The kids woke me out today. We had children's church today. So I had the teenagers, had the young people today. And it went real, real good, but it was a lot of them. And I love being a parent. That's the coolest thing ever. But there's nothing like loving on kids that's not yours. You can love on them, pour into them, and then you can send them on their way. So yeah, I had a wonderful time, man. So hope you guys had a fabulous Sunday as well. Hope you got a chance to get into the house. If you didn't, I hope that you were able to at least get you some rest. So yeah. So what's going on, everybody? What up, Dothverse? Style So Serious? What up, what up, what up? Smooth Approach, what's going on? Brooklyn, I see you in the building. Shout out to my Stros. Boy, look here. Shout out to the Los Angeles Dodgers. Yeah. Ohtani is no joke. But y'all can't sleep on Bregman. That boy there, yeah. Shout out to the Astros. And all my people out there on the East Coast. What's going on, y'all? We'll be out there in a few weeks. Don't worry. I'm pretty sure I get a lot of grief. Yeah. Robin Monroe says, "What up, Rich and my fellow BCLs? RDJ's back in the MCU, but no recast of T'Challa." Okay. Slow down, Robin. We're gonna talk about some of this later on. So anyway, yeah, man. But it's been a lot going on. A lot going on. So yeah. We go he said I'm cheating Astro. Nah, see, you listen, we got caught cheating one time. Okay? One time. Don't get mad because we were able to go back. Listen, we've been in this World Series for like the 6 of the last 5 years. Yeah. I just need y'all to think about that for me. So that's dynasty type level. Okay? Cheating don't get you there. We got guys that can swing the bat. We got guys that can throw that rock. But and here's the thing: we're doing it more with our hitting this year than our pitching. Because man, if we had the roster that some of these should never letting it go. I don't care. You're gonna be all right. You can be all right, Styles. Yeah, it's good. It's all good, man. It's sports. It's fun. It is what it is. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. That's all I'm gonna say. But anyway, but yo, let's get to the nice show. Low down cheats. Come on, Brooklyn. Come on. Hey, Brooklyn, shout out to my man Brooklyn. Brooklyn be trolling me in the chat, be trolling me on the post. Man, look, listen. I can take shots. I take them all the time. It does not bother me. I was at I'll share with this and I'll get to the show. Me and my wife and a couple of my nephews and their mom and dad, we all went to where the Rangers play. Hung out there for the fourth. That's what we did for the fourth. Went out to the stadium, went out to AT&T, just kind of hung out. And I had my Astros cap on. And I forgot that I was at Ranger Stadium. And so, I had some looks and I had some people speak to me, address me. They're like, hey, you got the wrong cap on. I'm like, no, I don't. I got the right one on. So I'm always used to get smoked, you know what I'm saying? But it's all good and fun because when, the people know that when they come to Houston or whatever, you know what I'm saying, you can wear your gear. It's all love. It's all fun. You know what I'm saying? Now, people get drunk and they do crazy stuff. That's what they do. But for the most part, man, I love sports. Sports in Texas keeps things calm. So we love it. Speaking of sports, man, I cannot wait. We have less than 60 days before the NFL kicks back up. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. He says that mustache new. No, the mustache isn't new. I shaved myself because I'm getting ready to grow my beard out. So, yeah, I'm going to have a full beard in about a week or two. It doesn't take long to grow. I don't know what's going on up here. I can't get nothing to grow up here, but all this, it'll be a full beard within a week or two. So, yeah. So respect the Astros and Dusty Bakers. Man, I'm going to tell you, I was so disappointed when Dusty retired, man. I wanted him to still be, if I had my way, he still would be the manager. But the manager that we got, he's okay. It took a minute for, I think, the guys to get used to him. Dusty's old school, like Bruce Bochy down for the Rangers. It was an adjustment. It was an adjustment. I could tell. We were in the bottom. We were in the cellar. And it took a minute for these guys to get to first place. So, it's crazy. That's all I'm gonna say. My man, look at Bacon. He's so crazy. He's gonna drive the ladies wild with the beer. I'm gonna be chilling. I am chilling, and I'm gonna tell the ladies, don't break up a happy home. Don't do that. Anyway, let's get to the show, y'all. He said, EJ Harris says, I was a Houston Oilers fan. That's what's up. Salute. Oh man. I can go on. I can talk for days about the Oilers. Matter of fact, I have been thinking about this, and I'll just put this out here in the atmosphere to consider. I'm thinking about doing something along sports. I really, really am. I don't know if a full-blown podcast or something, but I can talk sports for days, and I just don't know local sports. I am a sports fanatic. I grew up watching the NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, even hockey. So I'm thinking about doing it because it's one of the things I do enjoy. And I know a lot of history. I probably know more football and basketball and baseball stuff than I do comics. And I'm thinking about it. So I got to really think if I can make the time and if it makes sense, I may do it, And if anybody y'all want to sponsor or help a brother out, let me know. I'll let your boy. We might have to make that happen. Mr. DC, I'm a big wrestling fan. Look, you know what? I'm trying to get into the wrestling of today. It's just not sticking with me for whatever reason. It's just not sticking. I mean, I can sit there and kind of watch it, but I'm not really, and maybe it's just the sport itself is kind of passed me by, or my enthusiasm for it may have passed me by, but I was a huge wrestling fan way before when Hulk Hogan was on the come up, when, guys like Bruno Sammartino were doing their thing, way back in the day. So might be something to think about for real. Brooklyn says Dusty was cool, but always would be a member of the Lasorda LA Dodgers humbug. Look, man, listen. Those I used to love watching the Dodgers under Lasorda. He was Tommy Lasorda was a character, and man, they had some bad teams back in the day. They really did. They really did. Smooth Bro said, I'm more of a pro wrestling than comics. Yeah, man, I used to love wrestling a whole lot. You know, I grew up watching Junkyard Dog, and you know, man, it is so crazy. But we got a comic book show to do, so let me get away from that and get to the show itself. So with that said, we're gonna go ahead and get into he said maybe do a show with Frustrated. What's going on? Where is Frustrated? I didn't holler at my brother. I know they look. Somebody get it Frustrated. Tell them to holler at me, because I need to talk to them about the upcoming season, because I'm trying to figure out what's going on with the Washington Commandos. The NFL, I tell people this, and I'm not a big Cowboys fan, but the NFL is better when the Cowboys are good. And the NFL is awesome when the Washington used to be Redskins are good. But they haven't been good for a minute, man. I need them to do better. Let's see. Okay. Let's get to the show, y'all. He said you can catch the storylines from wrestling stories in the new Star in Wrestling. Okay. Well, we'll see, man. We'll see. It's about fitting the time. It's all, you know, I need to clone myself, if that makes any sense. If I could clone myself, man, I'd be all over the internet. But don't quote me on that. Matter of fact, we need to edit that out, Derek. We need to edit that out. I don't need a clone. So look, let's get into the show. Low-hanging fruit. That's the first segment of our show. It's a segment of our show where we get into the news and we get to talking all that. And Lord have mercy, I'm only doing a couple of articles tonight, but it was a lot of stuff that went on. But let's get to some of the news tonight. First thing is a Fandom Wire article. And look, there is an old Proverbs that says, sit by the river, and if you wait long enough, the body of your enemy will float by. I'm paraphrasing. It don't really say that, but it's kind of like that. So it's a good day to be a Marvel fan. Ex-MCU boss who didn't want Chadwick Boseman's Black Panther in favor of all-white Avenger has sold his entire stock at Disney. Bob Iger butted heads with this former Disney stockholder who opposed films starring superheroes of color and those represented by women. Chadwick Boseman bestowed Marvel buffs with perhaps the most iconic superheroes in the treasure trove of the MCU, talking about Black Panther. The late actor who portrayed the character Black Panther is ubiquitously, cherished by fans even today, half a decade after his debut as the regal and peerless T'Challa, and rightfully so. Surprisingly enough, we almost didn't get this cinematic masterpiece helmed by Ryan Coogler, owing to a former Marvel executive's controversial, outdated belief. He threw his weight behind this idea that there should be an all-white Avengers team. Go figure that. All-white male, matter of fact. And was hell-bent on foisting his absolute ways or whatever, or his crazy thinking in the studio. But of course, that didn't happen. In a twist of fate, this said exec has now bid farewell to his entire stake at Disney. So basically, he sold his stock in Disney. Now, if you're curious as to know how much he got, he sold about 25.6 million shares for roughly about $3 billion. That's a lot of coin. But at one time, this was a guy who was an influential character at Disney. He didn't want this Black Panther movie made. He didn't want the Captain Marvel movie made. He wanted an all-white, all-male Avengers team, supposedly. And look, this guy was in his 80s, so he's from the old guard. and the old guard is all white, all male. It is what it is. There's no one that can refute that. But it's bad for business because the world doesn't look like that no more. The comic book fan doesn't look like that no more. The comic book fan is not all white, all male. The comic book fan is black. The comic book fan is Asian. The comic book fan is male. The comic book fan is female. The comic book fan is queer. The comic book fan is everybody. Okay? It's not the old vanilla standard from back in the day. This is not the 60s. This is not the 70s. This is not even the 80s. But this is what this guy was like. You know, we did, me, Paul, Mr. Jeffrey Thorne. We talked about this guy last time on our show. And, you know, it's weird because these movies made this dude this kind of money. He was able to get $3 billion, almost $3 billion. So he's out the picture. So bravo. Take your billions, go buy you another yacht, fix your 25-year-old girlfriend's rack or whatever it is you're going to do. Hasta la vista. Yeah, hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. That's right. He's gone. So shout out to Disney. Y'all did something right for a change. Just give the people their cash and let them roll. That out way of thinking, man. I mean, it's, and Disney is not necessarily the greatest corporation that is, whatever, but you know, this is who they had working for them. This is who was behind the scenes. This is why we have issues with representation, diversity, whatever. These kind of cats that's in power. Yeah, he up in his Klansman robes collection. Yeah, so glad he's gone. With that said, we're gonna go move to our next article. This is get into some good news. Okay, that was great news, but let's talk about some good news. Bleeding Cool article. DC confirms Absolute Green Lantern by Al Ewing and Jaroy Lindsay. Today, DC Comics used San Diego Comic-Con to confirm Absolute Green Lantern by Al Ewing and Jaroy Lindsay for some time in the future. Earlier this month, Bleeding Cool announced that Absolute Green Lantern will be written by Al Ewing, and at the time, DC Comics wouldn't admit that the Absolute Universe, let alone DC All-In, was even a thing. But today, after announcing it all, DC Comics used San Diego Comic-Con to confirm the Absolute Green Lantern by Al Ewing and Jaroy Lindsay with very different version of the character. Okay, now for those who may or may not know, we're talking about Joe Mullen. Last time we saw Joe Mullen is for his comics is The Far Sector, which was written by N.K. Jemisin, right? And Jamal Campbell. So Al Ewing, who's everybody's favorite Storm writer, is going to be writing Joe Mullen. So this should be pretty interesting. This is a different take on the character itself. As you can see, the hairstyle is different. She don't have the Gumby type style or the Janelle Monáe type style. You know, got the braids going. So we'll see what takes place. But yeah, that's Joe Mullen is back. She's going to also be back in Lanterns or whatever that they're, you know, the comic book that they're doing for Green Lantern in the regular series. But she's going to be doing, Al Ewing is going to be writing Joe Mullen in the Absolute Green Lantern book. So y'all stay tuned for that. Because someone says pre-ordering, that's for sure. So, now, Artful says, are they going to bring back the New 52 Blood Coat Red Lantern Corps, if not X? I don't know. They're doing something a little different. The DC All-In stuff, all I know is it's very white. That's all I can tell you. This is the only melanin that I've seen as far as the stuff that's come out of the Absolute universe. I think this is DC's answer to the Ultimate Universe is going on in Marvel. So these characters are going to be different. I'm not sure how they're going to go about them, but you know, this is kind of what they're doing. Right now, they're doing an Elseworlds stuff with Batman, a few other Superman, a few other titles, whatever. But this Absolute absolute series or whatever is a real thing that they're going to be doing. And you know, we'll see what it shapes out into. But the highlight for me is this: Joe Mullen will be back doing her thing, and Al Ewing is writing her, and people love Al Ewing. You know, he's been the best writer that Storm has had. There's a Storm book getting ready to come out, so there's going to be the guys that are doing the Coon, the Brutalizer of Gods, is writing that and doing that. So we'll see. And right now, Al Ewing has the title as the best Storm writer. But we'll see what those guys do. But yeah, I do think it's a good look that Al Ewing is writing Joe Mullen. So y'all stay tuned for that, for sure. So with that said, guys, we're going to go ahead and talk about San Diego Comic-Con. That was the big con this past week. And there was a lot of shenanigans going on. A lot of shenanigans. Man, everybody knows, if you've been under a rock, everybody knows that, you know, Robert Downey Jr. showed up and looks like he's going to be playing Victor Von Doom. Now, I saw some rumblings on the internet that this is just a bait and switch and that Marvel is not really doing that. They just want people to know that if you're going to see him in the Marvel Studios lot, so he's going to be playing Iron Man. I don't know how true that is. Look, the MCU is better with Robert Downey Jr. in it. So if he's playing Doom, awesome. If he's not, awesome. I'm just glad he's there. That guy's a great actor. And, you know, I just love him as an actor, period. He's done some amazing work in the MCU and outside of the MCU. So, but yeah, Doomsday is coming, y'all. Doomsday is coming. And the cool part about it is that the Marvel execs decided to do the right thing and give the Russo brothers the keys to the kingdom. They're going to be directing Avengers Doomsday, and they will be directing Secret Wars. So they're giving these guys basically, they're giving them the keys to right the ship. They know that what they've been putting out has been hot garbage of late. And they need to do the right thing with these guys, bring these guys back in the fold and make some magic happen. Now, here's the thing about Avengers Doomsday. I'm not necessarily sure about the story. Bendis wrote it, I know that. Not saying that it was, but what I'm getting at is this literally came out of left field. We knew that they were going to bring Doom in, and most of us thought that they were going to bring Doom in with the Fantastic Four. But this is kind of like, talk about bait and switch or talk about a shell game. This kind of was out of left field. But I'm happy for it, you know. And that first book, that first infamous Iron Man #1, that thing is spiked. So the speculators are happy. Shout out to all 5 of y'all that still speculating comic books. These guys are happy. They are happy, happy, happy. I ain't never seen so many speculators have so much to say about this particular part of San Diego Comic-Con. Shout out to my man Amir, 1 in 100 podcast. He talked about it on his podcast about, you know, what it was good to see Marvel back at San Diego Comic-Con and what they were going to have in store. So yeah. Bakeman says that could be a good sign. Brian Michael Bendis did great long-term storytelling. Basing a phase on one of his stories could really be good. Yeah. Well, Bendis was at one point, Bendis was the man. Bendis was the man at one point. Bendis was the GOAT. And that dude couldn't write nothing wrong until he started writing stuff that was Shout out to everybody that hated when he was at DC. Speaking of Mr. DC Comics, since Marvel is desperate. Well, you know, desperate times come, desperate measures come. It's when stuff gets jacked up, you got to do something. Got to do something. Go hard or go home. I think this is going hard. So we'll see. We'll see what magic they can create with this here. I'm looking forward to it. I'm intrigued. I'm not super excited, but when I heard the announcement, I was kind of like, wow. I tell you, man, when you Disney, that little Mickey Mouse is the biggest pimp in America. The biggest one, not Donald Trump. Uh, and when you got pockets that run deep, because trust and believe, Robert Downey Jr. did not show up because he just missed y'all. They put a lot of zeros in that dude pocket. Because at this point, what's the point? I mean, dude literally was the quote unquote linchpin of the whole MCU. He could just walk away and have the legendary career, and everybody will adore him and love him for his portrayal of Iron Man. He was the perfect casting. They got that casting right when they casted him as Iron Man. He didn't have to come back, but I know he came back and he got a big check for it. So SR says, I love what Bendis did for Luke Cage. Just wish Cage was back in the picture. Well, we'll see. Luke Cage is probably, listen, I think Cage is back sooner than later. I'll say it like that. They're not going to, Marvel's not, here's the thing. Marvel they showed us a lot of stuff in San Diego Comic-Con, but they're not going to give you guys everything. Trust and believe, Marvel got more stuff up their sleeve. They wanted to just they put some feeders out there for us to see how we would respond or whatever. And some of it was positive and some of it was negative, to be honest. So we'll see. Armistead says, Chargers bring back Majors as Kang and give Miss May. Now, I think they done with Kang, bro. Kang Dynasty is a wrap. They hard pivoting with this. This a hard pivot. Because this reminds me of the Mandarin fake on Iron Man 2. Yeah. It's a hard pivot. I mean, and again, some people don't think that he's going to be Doom. Some people think he's going to be playing Tony Stark. And that was just kind of like, we got your attention. Now that we got your attention, they'll fake and they'll do something different. I don't know. Either way, I'm just kind of like, okay, let's work with it. Damon Watson says, Wesley Snipes was Marvel, John the Baptist, and RDG is the real Marvel Jesus. Well, I won't go that far. As a matter of fact, I won't even go close to that. But suffice to say that, the MCU is what it is because of Wesley Snipes and Blade. And we'll talk about that in a hot second, to your point. But yeah, we had that, and the Russo brothers, of course. Yeah, the Rat is not playing with y'all. Run them pockets for sure. So for all of you Lord of the Rings fans, all 2-3 of y'all, Lord of the Rings had a new trailer that came out, season 2. Trailer looked very, very good. Will the story be good? I don't know. But the trailer was nice. I enjoyed the trailer. The trailer was almost 4 minutes, matter of fact. Crazy thing is, House of the Dragon is going on right now. And House of the Dragon is almost like halfway done for the season. And last time House of Dragon was season 1, Rings of Power season 1 was going on at the same time. And HBO's House of Dragon was trucking. The Rings of Power. It wasn't even close. It was, I used to get Paul, I used to just harass and troll Paul about the Rings of Power. And I would talk about rather, this whole thing of black hobbits, and it was not necessary, and the story writing was not as good. And it wasn't as good as House of Dragon. It just wasn't. So I can only imagine what the House of Dragon and Rings of Power would be like if they were running together in the same thing. Now, Amazon's like, we ain't doing that again. See, you gotta learn from your mistakes. says, "Do you remember the Lord of the Rings season 1 storyline?" I do. Yes, it was them. It was Gladiel trying to find Sauron, and they couldn't figure out where he was. And of course, it was right there under their nose. But and of course, this is about how they created the quote unquote rings of power. And so season 2, I'm not sure what the complete focus is, but Sauron has taken control of Mordor. And so we'll see what they do with it this year. I hope the storytelling's a little bit better than it was the first. So yeah. And it's funny you asked that question, Styles, because that was the thing. The storyline itself was not something that people really remember about the show. That was the thing. And I tell people this, when you have things like diversity, equity, inclusion, it's okay and it's good to have that. But that cannot be the highlight of what you're doing. The art, the storytelling, the cinematic presentation has to take precedence. You can't run that DEI stuff in the front. It just does not work. It doesn't work well. And the reason why it doesn't work well is because you have taken the elements of the story and placed them behind the scenes when really that needs to be, the actual story itself needs to be up front, and all of the aesthetics and the things that you're trying to say and the things that you're trying to promote should be in the background. It should be like, wallpaper. It's there. People can see it. They don't need you to be in their face like, here I am, black person, token person right here. No, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. So y'all recommend Lord of the Rings show. I like the movies. Definitely going to watch House of Dragon. I mean, look, if you got nothing better to do, then go watch season 1 of Rings of Power. But trust me when I tell you this, it's not as good as House of Dragon. It's nowhere close. Like I said, they tried to compete. Amazon tried to compete with HBO last time. They were on together doing the same, and they got trucked. They got their feelings hurt. So, yeah, I think they did the homework and said, you know what? We can't do that again like we just did. We can't do that. And when you know that you out of your league, you pivot. You do something different, which is what they're doing. And like I said, the trailer itself looks great. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with it this season. But House of Dragon is right now is killing it, bro. I'm enjoying the House of Dragon this season. It's been pretty good. It's been pretty good. Vegas says, how do our people do in House of Dragon? Well, here's the thing. We've been kind of like, the Valerians have kind of been like, they've been kind of there, but they have not really played a significant role. And it's weird because everybody knows that the House of Valerian, is nowhere in the picture when the beginning of the actual Game of Thrones takes place. So it's leading up to what happens with them, with the sea snake. He's got some things going on with infidelity, and he got kids, and on the outside he got they kind of keeping him on the hush this season or whatever. But he's there, you know what I'm saying? But they're not the focus. Some of the things is that they're trying to kind of like bring them along slowly to the forefront. But this situation between the two queens or whatever, that's been the focus of the show, and the dragons themselves. The dragons have been in the most entertaining part of the show. We've seen some dragon battles in this season, and it's been good. It's been real good. So, yeah. So let's go. So anyway, outside of that, we got the Fantastic Four got an official title. They're going to be doing a 1960s aesthetic with the Fantastic Four movie. So yeah, that's what the promo for the Fantastic Four is going to be. So y'all gonna get like some Jetsons type 60s type stuff. So that's going to be interesting. first steps. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. They're getting ready to start filming. Yeah. Please get it right. This will be the third time. They say third time's a charm. So if y'all mess this up, y'all just keep the Fantastic Four off the shelf. Okay, so yeah, Galactus ain't a cloud no more. Oh no. Galactus is coming. Galactus is coming. For real. Lastly, and in my opinion, the biggest news for the Black comic book community out of San Diego Comic-Con is the news that Dennis Cowan, Graphic Samurai, the art of Dennis Cowan takes front stage. There is going to be a crowdfunding, I think, project, but this announcement was made at San Diego Comic-Con. Yeah, man. Dennis Cowan's art. Dennis Cowan is one of the GOATs, and it's good to see him finally have a compilation of his art in a volume. So this is going to be dope to get. So stay tuned. We will be hitting you with some particulars on how you were able to get this particular book. The Godfather Joe Illidge shared this on his Facebook page, and everybody kind of picked up after they seen it. I shared it myself and said, well overdue. Dennis Cowan should have had 1 or 2 volumes of art. So now we're going to get to see it. You're going to get to see his art from Berserker. You're going to get to see his art from the Milestone stuff. You're going to get to see his art from The Question. It's going to have a lot of stuff, man. A lot of stuff. It's going to be dope. That's going to be dope. So y'all stay tuned for that news. And speaking of Dennis Cowan, we finally, out of San Diego Comic-Con again, we finally got the news. Milestone returns with the Shadow Cabinet. Ladies and gentlemen, the Milestone comic books version of Avengers Endgame is coming our way in the month of November. Matter of fact, November the 5th. Milestone Comics returns. We have been giving Milestone grief. We have been giving them the business. And I said on this channel that we were going to give them the business until they gave us some business. So yes, in November, Milestone Comics, Milestone Media returns with the Shadow Cabinet. Now, the Shadow Cabinet is basically a super team from back in the days Milestone 1.0. This is going to be dope. This is going to be dope. The cover art's going to be done by Dennis Cowan and Nicholas Draper-Ivey, but the art's going to be done in this book by Darryl Banks and Atijun Ilhan. So, yeah. I hear you, Kay. Says they still need to do right by Velez, but I congratulated Illich. Yeah. It's not perfect, but doggone, I'm happy to hear them come back. I really, really am. So shout out to Milestone for finally kind of coming together and hitting us with something, I think part of it, they knew that they had been gone a minute. And so I think they recognized that they had to come with something big, but they also had to come with something different. And so I had thought that the Shadow Cabinet at some point would pop up, but to know that they're coming out the gate with Shadow Cabinet in their return, yeah, I'm here for that for sure. Yeah. Yeah, so yeah. So yeah, San Diego Comic-Con was amazing this year. They threw the gauntlet down. and honestly, that's kind of how it's supposed to be. You got the biggest, you got the reputation of being the biggest con in the world. And for the last couple of years or so, it's been kind of but this year they did their thing. So yeah. So yeah. So is this still Earth? I'm not sure. We don't know the particulars. All we got was the announcement that Milestone was returning, and there will be time to address all of these things in the future. And we had heard, what I'm saying, everybody chill. We on the way. Stay tuned. They wanted to make this announcement, I guess, for the San Diego Comic-Con. A lot of media was going to be there, that kind of thing. I get it. Y'all could have just came to Black Comic Lords. We could have pumped it up. It's just as big as anybody. I'm not saying that we the same as San Diego Comic-Con, but we stand on our square. But shout out to them. Yeah. 101 on the podcast. I agree. This has been the best since 2019. Yeah. Now, Artful says, Retro Shadow Cabinet, there aren't enough heroes for a new iteration. Well, again, we don't know. That's the thing, Artful. It may be the same crew, and they may add some new characters. We don't have the solicits and all that stuff. We just got the announcement. We'll get the solicits pretty soon. The comic book is coming out November the 5th. So you go back November, October, September. During the September solicits, we'll get more information, what the story's about, who's in the story, that kind of thing. So, yeah. So I'm curious about the Thorne's involvement in this, but I'll chill. Don't harass him afterwards. Well, we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, shout out to Milestone Media, man. It's good to see you guys back, and it's gonna be a dope fall. Yeah, I'm looking forward to some Milestone stuff for sure. Lastly, in this part of the show, low-hanging fruit. If you've been under a rock, Marvel, actually, I gotta say, with San Diego Comic-Con dropping this week and the Deadpool Wolverine movie coming out this weekend, man, I don't know who does the promotion at Marvel Studios, but they got this one right. They got it right. I mean, bro, the Deadpool Wolverine movie came out. I saw the movie. Very, very entertaining. Very hilarious. Very violent. I don't want to give it away. I don't dare. I don't want to just assume everybody went to go see this movie. A whole lot of people did. But yeah, this is the only movie that's on the docket for 2024. And they decided to release it the week of San Diego Comic-Con. So yeah. That's all I'm gonna say. Man, look, I just will say that Ryan Reynolds, for who he is, and the franchise of Deadpool, has been the gem, I would say, at Marvel. Only from this standpoint, that it doesn't connect. It's not a lot of connective tissue with the MCU. It's literally its own thing, and because it's its own thing, it just can do whatever. And they pulled out the stops. This was a very entertaining movie. I would love, and I know there's a Deadpool Wolverine comic book out, but I would just love to read a comic book version of this movie. This was, bro, this was fun. This was very, very, very violent. Oh my goodness. Now Shang-Chi has a scene in the movie where he's fighting in a train. And I thought to myself that that's probably the best fight scene I had ever seen as far as up close in a small space. There is a scene in the Deadpool Wolverine movie in a minivan that knocks that out the water. Bro. Now he says, I got kids' house. No, you don't want to. This is not a kid-friendly movie, K Jr. This is for the immature adults. You don't want to take your kids to see this. No, this is very, very, this is not PG-13. This is rated R. It's raw. But the things about this movie was, it had a great story. You'll get in the feels a little bit, but yeah. Paul says, I say every week Marvel can make anything successful with proper promotion. The fact it was really good makes it all the better. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, bruh. I ain't, listen, I'm gonna tell you how much I enjoyed this movie. I was tired of laughing. I was tired of laughing. Bro, Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds, you know what? They could literally do cop movies. You know, buddy cop movies, that type of stuff. I mean, it was just that entertaining. Their interaction was just that good. I figured that they knew it was going to be, I thought it was going to be cool, but I didn't think it was going to be that good. They did their thing, man. They did their thing. And Mike King, we're going to go ahead and spoil that part. We're going to go ahead and spoil that part. So, because everybody, it's the worst kept secret at this point. We have been asking about Blade for a minute. And Wesley Snipes shows up in the movie and has a cameo in the movie. The cameos in this movie were hilarious. My favorite, I can't spoil it. I don't want to spoil it. But Wesley was cool, but he was not my favorite. My favorite was a particular Cajun dude. And his hair. That's all I was. I would just say that. But yeah, man, it was good to see Wesley Snipes put back on the Blade uniform. And listen, they threw hella shots at Fox and Marvel. Marvel must just told Ryan Reynolds, they just filled out a checkbook and said, dude, go make this movie. Don't even worry about, we're not even worried about what you're going to say. We're not even worried about what you're going to do. Because, bro, he went in on Marvel. He went in on Marvel, but he told Fox up, bro. It was hilarious. It was amazing. Now, let's get some of these comments. Was the scene of Royal Flush? He said, I thought Blade was going to appear in Secret Wars. It was a great surprise. Jonathan says, you got to tell them what Weston said. The absolute, yeah, you there is another, I don't know how he puts it. You will never see Blade again, or there will never be another Blade. That kind of like, and what's so funny is the Ryan Reynolds, they pan him straight. It's like a straight dead face. Like, you know, you probably not going to see a Blade. They had so many Easter eggs in this movie. It was hilarious, bro. It was hilarious. That was, man, oh my God. And but one of my favorite scenes was, I'll share this, but there's a scene in the movie where Deadpool is going to look for Logan. Because the Logan, I won't spoil it. There's a scene in the movie where he goes looking for Logan. And then there's a picture of Logan as a real short guy. Now, for the comic heads, Logan is a short dude. Logan is very short. Logan is like, what, 5'4", 5'3", or something, 5'5", whatever it is. But he's not 6 foot like Hugh Jackman. The real Logan is a real short dude. And so you see him interact with this dude that's this Wolverine. Bro, I was crying. I'm like, man, they just out of line for this. So yeah, I just loved it, man. I just really love it. I'm going to see this again. Because I'm just that easily amused. And bruh, now he says, I love Legacy and will pay for Old Man Blade. That's a thought. That's a real thought. I gotta say, that could be a real thing that they could do. That could be a real thing that they could do. Man, it was if you have not seen this movie, go see it. Please don't take your kids. I'm telling you now, this is not a kid-friendly movie. This is for adult children. This is for adult children. And it was extremely violent. Oh my goodness. They put the most violent mutant and the craziest merc in a movie together. I think people forget that Wolverine is that dude. And all I know is that, bro, they did some work in that movie. They did. He says, you're right. Roy Thomas made Logan to be short, like 5'4", in a world full of 6 foot heroes, while being exceptionally dangerous. Hence his name, Wolverine. Yeah. I'm just saying, diverse it is. The adult chip, bruh. Look, this is for the dude that loves to watch craziness on screen. The minivan. All I'm gonna say is there is a fight scene. I said it just now. The fight scene in the minivan. Oh, that was money. Oh my, that was unfair, man. That was so funny. It's a great movie, guys. Y'all go see the movie. That's all I'm saying. I'm just laughing thinking about it. Yeah, man. That was a dope movie. Richard Gutierrez says, greeting, Rich. What's up? So, yo, with that said, guys, we're going to go to commercial break. When we come back, we are going to talk about toxic fandom obsession. We're not going to talk too long about it because I want to get to the chat. I want to talk to you guys. But we want to talk about toxic fandom obsession and what it means for the actual casual hardcore fans. Have you experienced it? Do you know anybody that's toxic, that's a fan? Those kind of things. We're going to just take a commercial break, take your restroom break, drain the main vein, get you something to drink. We'll be right back. This week in Black History, Black Comic Lord celebrates the artistry of Dennis Cowan. Dennis Cowan is a comic book artist with a flair for naturalism. If I didn't know any better, I thought the brother lived and breathed in brick-walled alleys, inhaling the pollution of the city streets and exhaling the pictures of agony and anguish. You see, it's hard to describe Mr. Cowan's art, so I'm forced to use a ghetto analogy. Dennis Cowan's art is like fish and grits. It's not first on the menu, but you're glad you spotted it. Visually, it tastes good and your eyes will be filled. Yes, filled, I say, filled with detail. They say the devil is in the details, but Dennis be like, hold my beer, because the brother crafts scenes and faces where it makes you wonder, did he miss anything? Each panel is filled with action, and though pictures cannot physically move, Dennis Cowan shows and proves that they actually can. From Batman to The Question to the Black Panther and others, Dennis Cowan's art speaks like Terminator X speaks with his hands. That makes him a bad man and worthy to be celebrated. Salute the living legend that is Dennis Cowan, a Black history legend. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel,
And until next time, peace.
What's good, Comic Fam? I'm pretty sure you guys are familiar with Concrete Comics, and I'm also pretty sure you guys are familiar with Freestyle Comics. Well, what if I told you they were partnering together and give you guys an amazing promo code? So listen, here's the deal. You go to any one of these websites, you're going to save 20% off by using this promo code. Now, if you spend more than $50, you're going to get free shipping. You can't beat this. And when I talk to you about industry standard or better storylines and art, I mean, you're really not beating Freestyle Comics, and you're definitely not beating Concrete Comics. Listen, this is not a sponsorship. I've literally read all of these books, and they're fire. So stop crying and start buying. Concrete Comics, Freestyle Comics, joining forces. Make sure you use this promo code. You're going to get 20% off. You spend more than $50, you're going to get free shipping. We out.
We back. All right, y'all. Whew, man. We get into our segment of our show, Down the Rabbit Hole. This is the segment of our show where we go a little deep, you know what I'm saying? We go beyond the surface level. We kind of get into the weeds and that kind of thing. And we just have conversations. We talk about what we think is important or things to consider, you know what I'm saying? So tonight, I wanted to talk about toxic fandom obsession. You know, as a comic book head, I grew up kind of like watching guys, hardcore guys that really loved comics, but they were so hardcore that it got on your nerves. If you know anybody like that, that they love comics, but they sometimes get on your nerve with some of the things that they say or think. I might be one such person. I might get on your nerve. But seriously, guys, one of the reasons why I want to talk about this was because when Marvel Studios made the announcement that Robert Downey Jr. was coming back to the MCU and he's going to play Victor Von Doom, a lot of people were happy, but a lot of people were upset. And I'm trying to figure out why. Why? What does Robert Downey Jr. having to play another character? Why is that so much of a problem? And it's so funny because Chris Evans, who plays Captain America Steve Rogers in the MCU, was in the Deadpool movie. He played a cameo of Johnny Storm. People forget that that's who he was before he got the role as Captain America. But people were upset about him taking on the role or being, Dr. Doom. It's like, why are y'all tripping? People were quoted saying that I'm just so disgusted. I'm so angry. All this fake outrage and stuff is just weird to me. It's just weird to me. And look, when the Melanated Challenge fans do crazy stuff, I kind of expect it because that's just kind of that's kind of what they do. But it's when we do it that I really just be like, okay, y'all doing a little too much. Y'all need to chill. You can have your I know the word fan is short for fanatic. I get all of that. But it's my advice. It's my unsolicited advice to not be fanatic about any of this stuff. Any of this stuff. Because it's all fictional. It's not real. All these characters that we like to talk about and like to go see movies and go buy $25 buckets of popcorn and $50 slushies and Slurpees and tubs of soda water. It's not real. So why are we losing our minds over some of this stuff? Why is it even that? Why is that even a thing? Me and Paul kind of talked off screen one time about how, this cancel culture is so bizarre, and it's the weird. Here's the thing: the real cats that's in this industry ain't got no problem. It's the weirdos. It's a lot of weirdos, and it's like, dude, what is your problem? Chill. We're canceling people because they want to see a movie. That's the kind of stuff that we're doing. And I don't understand why that is. Smooth Pro says AEW has toxic fandom in the pro wrestling realm. You can pick a side. It's okay. You could be team this or team that or whatever, but you don't have to, not at the expense of wanting certain things to, bring harm to people, or to just think that how they feel is trash, or who they like to support, or who they like to rally around is trash. That's crazy to me. But this is something that happens. It happens in the fandom, and I want to kind of talk about it because I believe that in life, this is a hobby. First and foremost, it's a hobby. It's not how I make a living. I know some people make a living that this is what they do, podcasting, whatever it is. For me, it's a hobby. I ain't getting paid for it. I would love to get paid, but I ain't getting paid for it. I'm not tripping, okay? But I have things outside of this that are so far from this that I'm balanced by it. And so I'm just not all the way in like some people. And I'm not saying that you need to be like me, but what I am saying is that you need things outside of your fandom that give you balance. Because when you don't have things outside your fandom, you can fall into these toxic and obsessive ways. That movie right there, that was a movie years ago that Wesley Snipes, we talking about Wesley Snipes today. Wesley Snipes played a ball player in the movie The Fan, co-starring with Robert De Niro. Robert De Niro was a hardcore fan of Wesley Snipes' character, and he was obsessive. Matter of fact, he had a son that, he made his son skip school the first day of school to see the opening day game. And Snipes' character was somebody that had been traded to the San Francisco Giants. And so they just felt like this is going to be their year, blah, blah, blah. It was very, very, very interesting. But it was about this obsession that this guy had for this ball player. And because the thing about sports fans is those of us that love sports know guys like this, that this is what they do. They tailgate. They buy all the merch. They are at every game. They do everything. They are, and there's nothing wrong if you can afford to do that with your fandom. By all means, have at it. But there's some people whose fandom drifts into unhealthy waters. And so we see something like this in this particular movie, where it became a point where he was assaulting the dude. Another movie, one of my favorite Stephen King stories, is the book Misery. James Caan played a writer who had been writing a book or writing a series of books, and he happened to get into a car wreck. Just so happened he was rescued by one of his biggest quote unquote fans. And he had plans in his story, or in his story arc that he was writing, to kill off the character. This is weird because this is a guy who's just writing a story. And she's like, oh, no. You can't kill the character. You can't do that. Even though he's the author of the story, she in her fandom, her obsession is telling him what he should do. Stephen King wrote about this years ago. And I know some of y'all don't like to think that y'all like this. Surely you would not get a sledgehammer and bang somebody's ankles to shreds. But the point is that there are people in the fandom who have unhealthy relationships with their characters and with the people that identify with their characters. And it causes them to say and think and do certain things. It's just not cool, bro. I just want us to just really enjoy what we're doing and just recognize how crazy it is that, you know, we get upset over certain things, and I get it. I really, really do. But we never should get upset to a point where we think this is life and that's all there is. One of my favorite stories, or one of my favorite franchises, is the Sons of Anarchy franchise. Sons of Anarchy was written by Kurt Sutter, who did not only Sons of Anarchy, but he did the, can't think of the cop show that he did. I can't remember it. It'll come to me. But Sons of Anarchy is about a motorcycle club. And the story is about a guy named Jax Teller, who is a vice president of a motorcycle club that his father started. And so this guy, all he knows is the club. He don't know nothing else. He has nothing else going for him. And there's a scene in the show where one of the members named Bobby Elvis is talking to his fiance at the time, I think. And she was, I'm not, well, it was somebody that was connected to Jax. But what he was explaining to her was that Jax only had the shield. Thank you. Jax only has this. And because he only has this, he swallows everything whole. And that's what I see with a lot of fans in comic books and in this kind of nerd culture entertainment. I see guys that swallow all of this whole, and it's unhealthy. Now, guys like myself and Paul and others, my man Derek, we have careers or jobs that are nothing connected to nothing when it comes to comics. We also have families, nothing connected to comics. We also have other interests that's not connected to nothing at comics. I was talking earlier about sports. There are things that we have in our lives, whether it be our families, whether it be our interests, whether it be our jobs, whether it be our vocations. You know, I am an associate pastor at my church. There are things outside completely the realm of comics. I come to play with you guys when I make time. Most of the time when you don't see me, I'm out doing something else completely away from comics. It's just not what I do. I don't have the time. I love this part of my life, but it's not the big part of my life. And trust and believe, if I had to make a decision that this has to go or that has to go, this is probably going to go. Now, maybe I don't love comics as much as you. I can live with that. It doesn't bother me one way or the other. But what I'm getting at is that for some people, this is all they know. This is all they have. This is all they think about. This is all they believe in. And because they operate like this, there are certain things that are just crazy. And so I don't want us to be so enamored with these characters or whatever, where it becomes, you know, some people, I'm not a proponent of hero worship. I love superheroes, but I'm not a proponent of hero worship. Not at all. These are human beings. Everybody that writes about these quote unquote gods or write about these particular characters, whatever, these are human stories. That's what they are. That's all they are. Fables. That's all they are. And we should treat them as such. As just that, fables. We shouldn't treat them as real life. And I know some of y'all, we get triggered. You know, somebody got to do is put up a post of Storm kissing Forge, and a gang of black guys get triggered. As if that, and I'm like, you're not gonna give smoke to anybody that's out here doing that for real, because there's a whole lot of that going on. Why you got so much smoke for Storm? Or for the writers that write Storm? It makes no sense to me. It's all made up stuff, guys. But, you know, for some of you guys, I get it. It doesn't, you know, it doesn't look good or doesn't feel good. It doesn't. It's designed to trigger you. That's the whole point. That's the whole point of it. If they didn't, Storm could be boring. Or if that didn't bother you, then what would be the point? They draw it, they do it for whatever to get you to think about something. You know, we just gotta do better. I don't want us walking around canceling each other over this kind of stuff. I mean, it's crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, people, and I'll share with you guys this. We know some people that have basically canceled Black comic lords because we didn't side with them on certain things. We not vested like that. I mean, what can you do? I ain't gonna lose no sleep over it. I see it for what it is. You know, yeah. We got to happen. We got to think about it. Now, Styles and Sirius says this happens in every arena of life: sports, politics, religion, art. There are people whose zeal for these things are just all consuming for them. I chop it up to the human condition. Absolutely, absolutely. You know, but I mean, again, it's all relative in regards to. And as a person of faith, I can tell you, I see this from time to time. There's certain people that will say, I believe this. I'm not really a believer because I stand by this, or I believe in this. That exists in every facet of life. You know what I'm saying? But one of the things I've tried to learn, I try to have a purple view of life, if I can say it like that. A purple view of life. What I mean by a purple view of life is the red is over here, the blue is over here. I try to mix. I'm more of a mix. I'm not red, I'm not blue. I'm kind of a mix of both. And that's how I live my life in terms of how I see things. Everything isn't black and white or whatever. There are more shades of gray than anything. But some people don't see life that way. And that's okay. That's going to be y'all's stroke. It won't be mine. I just want us to do better. You know what I'm saying? When we participate in these kind of things. I just don't want, these things also to affect our personal lives, because that's the other thing too. Trust and believe. If somebody is toxic, their life is probably toxic too. You can't have these kind of thoughts and views and it not bleed over into your real life. I just don't think that that's possible. You cannot compartmentalize. One thing about toxicity, you can't compartmentalize it. It's like cancer. You can try to, keep the cancer from over in this part of your body or whatever, but the goal of cancer is to spread, to metastasize. It's going to move to something if you don't get it before it gets there. That's just kind of what it is. So you can't say, okay, well, I'm going to be 100% mentally healthy over here, but over here, I got this issue and I'm going to let it be the issue and I'm not going to deal with it because I don't think nothing's wrong with me, because that's what happens with a lot of people. A lot of people don't have accountability in the fandom, which is what one of my solutions is. Before this, you need to have people that's in your camp that can hold you accountable. Somebody that could tell you, dude, you need to chill. That's not right. This is not right. That's not healthy. You don't know the whole facts, or that's your opinion and you're entitled to it. We are different people. We should have a fair exchange of ideas and not feel like we need to counsel one another. You know, it's weird, man. It's just weird. I know we can do better. I just know that we can do better. No man is an island. But to Vagrant's point, no land is so small that it cannot be divided. Yeah. H&A says the toxicity has always been around, but there are bigger and louder platforms to amplify and spread it now. Yes, this is true. This is true. And again, that used to be the reason I bring it to us tonight is because that used to be those guys. Now I'm seeing it on this side, and I'm like, no, we don't want to pick that up. No, we don't want to pick that up. You know, I am okay with activism in the fandom when it makes sense and when it is practical. But I don't believe in internet activism. I just don't. I just do not. I'm old school, boots on the ground, grassroots type stuff. That's what I came up. And I'm not saying that you can't hashtag and do some stuff. But what I am saying is that real activism is in your face, speaking truth to power, not yelling at everybody in a vacuum or in an echo chamber. That's not activism. And I can say that because I understand a little something about people and how we interact with one another and how we treat one another. You know, I don't understand. I see some people and I'll be like, man, you know what? There's a lot of brilliance in what that person is saying, but there's a lot of ignorance as well. A lot of ignorance. And the sad part is that a lot of these guys get listened to. And it's nothing wrong. And the problem with those kind of guys is that you can't tell them nothing. And I learned a long time ago that, you know, some things could just be taken care of with a conversation. But I understand that people don't want to talk. They want to hear themselves talk, but they don't want to talk to nobody. They want to talk at people. So you have to let it be what it is, you know. And when there are things that get dropped in communication or things that have become misunderstood, well, you know, that's par for the course. You just roll on. You don't even think about it. Don't even worry about it. Because I recognize that in terms of the fandom, a lot of us just do not really want to be held accountable for our character, for our behavior, and for the things that we say. Because we think we're right. Social media gives everyone a voice nowadays, that being good and bad. The computer screen works better than hoods and sheets. No doubt. I just know that we have to be the kind of people that, you know what I'm saying, I want everybody to have a healthy relationship when it comes to this stuff. Have a healthy respect for the art itself. Because the art beyond itself is people interacting with people. I love the fandom, but I love the people. The people matter to me more than the art. The people matter to me more than the stories. We're together because of these things. We're in close proximity because of these things. But there's no reason for that to be the reason that divides us. It's dividing us these days. And that's my issue. It's dividing people. And it need not, you know what I'm saying? Feel the way you feel about them doing this and that and the other. And let's just, you know, recast T'Challa. We want to see T'Challa recasted. Absolutely. Absolute 100%. But am I going to tell somebody you're not down because you're going to see this movie? You're not down because you don't hate this writer? You're not down because you're not following this character? You're not down because you won't buy this comic book? You're not down because you won't do what I tell you to do? That's what a lot of people are doing. And I just think that's crazy. And you should find a therapist. It's that simple. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna get nothing deep, profound from me. Yeah, you need therapy. You need therapy. You need to really have a long talk. You know, I would tell you, go have a talk with God, but God has probably already tried to tell you something and you just won't listen. But that's kind of how we are. I don't look at what people say. I look at what people do. That's it. And you can say a lot of stuff, but when your actions match what you really stand on that, you're gonna die on that hill. Okay, do your thing. I'm gonna be over here chilling, having a good time, laughing, matriculating, and talking about the stuff like that, and finding the humor in all of this. You got to find the humor in all of this. Some of it makes sense, some of it don't. But no, we got to have fun. We need to put up a hat, make comics fun again. One of my podcasts is super corny, to be honest. The amount of people online that have a voice and choose to only lead on hotcakes just because they want clicks. I guess it feeds them. It feeds the monster. I don't know, the algorithm or whatever you want to call it. It's just crazy. I just want somebody to make comics fun again. I don't mind being in the company of people who have issues with certain things, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I'm the type of person that, if this is becoming where it's just not fun, then why are we doing it? And then that's when we really start getting into trouble, like we start doing stuff for clicks. Because there's a whole lot of people making a whole lot of money talking bad about everything that we like, everything that we love. That's crazy. That's crazy. I don't know though. I mean, again, it is what it is. I just don't understand why. We're supposed to be having fun. We nerds. I don't understand angry nerds. Maybe that's why that cartoon or that game, that internet or that phone game, Angry Birds, is so funny because it just reminds me of angry. It just sounds like angry nerds. It's like, why would birds be angry? Why would nerds be angry? We're supposed to be having fun. We're supposed to be goofy. We're supposed to laugh at everything and find the funny in everything. But not today. For some reason, the nerds have evolved. He said, "Nah, Rich, I'm not wearing the red hat." Mofa. Hey, Derek, I need you and Paul to get on that. We need to make us a Mofa hat. Make comics fun again. But anyway, that's it, guys, as far as that topic goes. Man, have fun. If you can't have fun, forget about it. Don't even mess with it. Manifesto. Angry bird nerd blurs. Yeah, that's it in Manifesto. Yeah. It's one of the Paul said, "This is comics, man. We talking about comics. You yelling about comics." That's the thing. I think that what we need to do is like you should be made to like really watch. You go on a rant or whatever, you should be made to watch yourself and just think about it after you've done what you've done or said what you said. Like, really was yelling about a comic book, bro. But this is where we are. This is where we are. So let's have fun, y'all. Let's have fun. Vagrant says YouTube leans heavily towards hate, watching and reading, look at how many channels revolve around hating, reading books, and making hour-long videos, ripping into them. That's what a lot of people want. Yeah, misery loves company. I was talking to the kids today about misery loving company. That if you went around a friend and that person is very emo or moody or whatever, or depressed or sad or whatever, that person wants you to be is the same. And you have to like remove yourself from said person sometime. I like to read comics that are deeply layered and make me think. And whether it's horror, fiction in terms of detective type stories, pulp fiction type stuff. I like reading that kind of stuff. But every now and then I want to read something silly. Every now and then I just want to read something just fun, hilarious. Just something just crazy. Just like when I went to see, and I'm not gonna name names, but when people started talking about the Deadpool Wolverine movie, somebody mentioned something about the beginning of the movie, and I could not help but be, while that person was making a point, I could not help but be just like, can we just enjoy something before we begin to like peel it back and shred it and that kind of thing? Let's just really enjoy it for a minute. I mean, can we just do that? People were doing that with the Black Panther movie when it came out, the first one. I was like, dude, let me enjoy this. Let me enjoy this. Then let me go back and say, aha. But to just be out the gate, this was what's wrong. Did you see this? Did you see that? I'm like, we don't, I don't know. And then get mad when people we don't have our own stuff. Well, maybe that's why. Maybe that's why we don't have our own stuff. Because you niggas would kill it. Excuse my language. I'm just saying. He said, I don't know, we should show our displeasure. You can show your displeasure if it's something wrong with it, whatever. But when we're in the middle of like consuming it, it's kind of like, if there's something wrong with a product that you buy, okay, there's certain ways to handle it. Now, if I'm going out and let's say I'm hanging out, I'm going to a movie, right? And it's like, okay, and I saw this too. Some of y'all did not go see the movie. Some of y'all didn't put your money up. Some of y'all pirated it. And because you pirated it, you felt comfortable just slanging whatever out there. See, that's the other thing too. If it didn't cost you nothing, you feel differently about it. That's a part of the toxicity of the fandom as well. See, I can trash a book if I ain't paid for it. If I just went to an online site and read the book and, and then while everybody went out and spent their hard-earned money to buy the book, and you were comfortable tearing the book down after I spent my $4 or $5 on the book to read it, to consume it, that kind of thing, that what we doing? So, no, I'm not comfortable with you voicing your displeasure if you didn't pay your hard-earned money for it. It's like voting. Nigga, don't talk to me if you didn't vote. Don't complain to me if you didn't vote. Don't complain to me. Don't talk to me about what should have been done if you didn't even participate in the process. These are the kind of things that have us at each other's whim. We're like cats herding cats. We just crazy for no reason at all. Crying about a free movie you didn't like. I mean, that part, bro. I'm like, bro, especially if I pay my money to see, I want to be entertained. But and you can voice your displeasure, but do it at your own discretion. We gotta do better with this. That's why I don't like this new generation of people because it's like we're so comfortable killing everything. And I grew up watching 3 channels. I need you to understand that. And I hate going old man, old grumpy man, but I'm gonna have to. We had 3 channels. 3. ABC, CBS, NBC. That was it. We didn't have a choice on what cartoons to watch. We had to watch what cartoons were coming on. There was no streaming. There was no if it wasn't Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids, that was the only black you was gonna see. So you got all this stuff out here now, all this melanin stuff, and you can't even get people to support it. About a month or 2 ago, we talked to y'all about a cartoon that's been streaming on Disney Plus. We asked y'all to go get it, but some of y'all won't go get it, won't support it because you're just talking and not walking. I said PBS was always there, Rich. Yeah, PBS was there, but that was it. We had to watch. We were forced to watch what was out on that. I mean, look, hey, listen. I love Electric Company. I love Zoom. I love all of that stuff. I enjoyed it. It was our fandom. But these guys got 50, 11 million different channels, streaming services or whatever, and complain about everything. I just don't sympathize with you. I don't have empathy. I don't have empathy for somebody that's got 50, 11 million different channels to watch. I'm sorry. I don't care that you don't like what you're seeing. I don't care. I don't care. You literally got 15 different Spider-Man shows you could watch. You got like 15 million different animes you could watch. You got 30,000 different cable channels you could watch. You got all gang of science fiction and all this other stuff that you can watch. I don't feel sorry for none of y'all that's miserable. I don't. I'm the wrong person. I'm not gonna feel sorry for you. Rich not gonna do it. Yeah. Not gonna do it. He said, did I miss that? What cartoon on Disney Plus? Somebody, Derek, can you put that cartoon we were talking about in the chat? The name of it. Give you the technical name. Not Moon Girl. Moon Girl is 1. Eyes of the Watch says, I'm not paying for any streaming service outside of Amazon Prime. Remember the black and white TV days. Yep. Me too, Rich. There's too much stuff not to find something you like. I'm like, you know, I just want us to just really enjoy. And look, I'm not telling you that everything that we're getting is good. It's a lot of it's not, but at the same time, it's not terrible. It's not all bad. I think sometimes it's more popular to dislike something than it is to like something. Seco says, I'm waiting for Moon Girl to hit DVD. I don't do Disney Plus. Iwaju, there it is. Thank you, Derek. You just put that up. You know. But what I'm getting at, though, more than anything, is that we have a lot of stuff available to us, and there's a lot of stuff to be that you can consume that is good. And not everything is good, but there's more good stuff than bad stuff. Brooklyn says junk cannot be enjoyed. Brooklyn? I'm not saying you can, but there's a lot of good stuff out there too, bro. You can't tell me that everything is trash. Everything is not trash, dude. That's all I'm saying. Just enjoy what you enjoy. Whatever it is that you like, watch that. Be about that. Champion that. Don't just hate on this part. So Bicycle Life says, Rich, I'm a few older than you. I remember Ghetto Man skit for Saturday morning preview. Live action Super Friends came out in 77 to 78. I mean, well, I don't know how old you are, Bison, but you know, I'll be 57 in September. So I remember all of this stuff. I mean, the thing is, we have so much stuff that it's like it's hard to like. I can't just really be tripping about it because I grew up watching the old Marvel shows. I grew up watching all the original Spider-Man stuff, Batman from the 1960s, Superman's from the 1950s. We watched all that stuff. The truth be told, a lot of the old heads or whatever that say they don't like Superman, they lying. They used to watch Superman in black and white back in the day. We all did. We all did. There was nothing to compare it to. That's the reason why I say they liked it, because they watched it, because there was nothing to compare it to. Nothing at all. You sat there in front of the TV, sir, and you heard that same advertisement, faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap over tall buildings in a single bound. Look up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. The whitest character on TV. We all did. Come on, people need to admit they love Superman versus KK over the radio. He says, like, hate that at Crisis animated series. Well, look, listen, nobody's perfect. I told y'all that the Crisis on Infinite, I fell asleep on part 2. I enjoyed part 1, but part 2 was a snooze fest. I don't even know why they did that. I'm not even really looking forward to part 3. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch it just because, but yeah. And again, it's one of those things where I'm not expecting everything to bat 1,000, but there's a lot of good stuff we can watch, y'all. It's a lot of good stuff. We just got to be willing to watch it. Not be all in the feelings like Brooklyn. Yeah, C. Cole says it's hard to justify hate with so much variety out there. Part 2 felt like filler. Part 3 is much better. Okay. I hadn't seen it, so I don't know. I just know that part 2 was, I fell asleep on that. Yeah. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and talk about Chat Talk. That's whatever you guys want to talk about tonight. I'm done talking about what I want to talk about. So yeah, what are you guys reading? What are you looking forward to? That kind of thing. Ask me whatever. I'll try to answer if I got an answer. But yeah. So now, Mike King says they hate no James Gunn Superman. It's not even out yet. People just crazy these days. Oh yeah. I mean, look, I don't know. Now, did you guys see the trailer for Creature Commandos, the animated that's getting ready to come out? The first thing that James Gunn is doing. I thought that was pretty cool. I'm looking forward to that. Amanda Waller's going to be in it. Looks like it's going to be an entertaining show. Now, the situation with the Superman, you know what I'm saying? James Gunn is going old school with that. I don't have a really problem with it. But yeah, as far as Creature Commandos, I enjoyed the trailer. I'm looking forward to it. So we'll see what happens. OG Spidey eyes. Paul says, give shout out to Joe Illich's upcoming writing project announcements. Yeah. Mr. Mario Van Bryson says, looking forward to the Justice League Unlimited comic. It has Black Lightning on the team. Yeah, let me go ahead and address that. Okay, so I have been asking hashtag where is Black Lightning for the longest. As you see, I don't have it on my name anymore. So it looks like that He's been found. Tony Isabella posted on his Facebook page a picture of Black Lightning kind of in the background of what they're going to be doing with the Justice League Unlimited comic. And so I'm like, okay. And because he puts in his comment, we'll see. And, or I should say, I have kind of asked that question, where is Black Lightning, for a while. You know what I'm saying? He has not been in his own title. And while I will be definitely checking for him being in the Justice League Unlimited book, I still want my Black Lightning self-titled comic book. This will feed the starving beast, but I'm still looking for that self-titled Black Lightning book. He said, ball to afro. I want my Black Lightning ball. The afro got to go. Especially the afro mask. That was so whack. That was my guy. So, this case says, I want JU Absolute Green Lantern pre-ordering too. Yeah. Grease Gemini Blues by Derek Robinson. Look at the bright side. At least we get a new terrific figure. I mean, look, we good with that. You know what I'm saying? We were joking about the Mr. Terrific Afro, or the they just need to comb my brother hair, give him, trim him up or whatever, give him an edge up or something. But yeah, we're looking forward to seeing Mr. Terrific on screen. That's gonna be pretty dope. We'll see what they do with James Gunn is, I won't say he's hit or miss, but he can get crazy. He can get a little crazy. Go get a trim. Yeah, I need a trim, bro. Ram God, new Black Lead book. Pharaoh just ended the first arc, will return in September. Yeah. So they need to get Jefferson some electric waves. You out of line, Mopana. Yeah. So we'll see. We shall see, man. I went to the shop this past week and picked up a few things that outside of my regular pull list, things that I'm gonna try. EC Comics returned, so I'm gonna read this. Some people were saying that they was kind of hit or miss. I hadn't read it yet, so I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna check this out. For those of you that know or don't know, EC Comics is the company that did the Weird Fantasy 18 book. They had just recently returned, so I'm gonna check that out. And Domain is a new book that came out. This is actually in partnership. Something's going on with comic book companies. And what they're doing is certain comics are being written in the independents are starting to take their cues from the big two. And this is what I mean by that. There was a comic book that just finished, The Six Fingers and the Hand. I think that was the name of the books. But they kind of like, they're writing books in to complement other books. This one book here, I'll show it to you. It's called The Six Fingers. Okay, The Six Fingers. This is a book that was written with Ram V. Ram V had another book that complemented this book, or that was written in conjunction with another book. So we're starting to see that now. This book here is called Domain. This is a book that actually is written in response to Chip Zdarsky wrote a book called Public Domain. This is actually the back cover of it. Public Domain just returned, and it's about basically a comic book artist who secures the right to his character. His character became a real big superstar, was on the big screen. He recently got the rights to the character back. He's starting to write about the character again. And so as he begins to write on the character again, he's getting a little pushback from the company that he's writing the character for. And the book that he's supposed to be writing is this book. So this is about a comic book written about a comic book, which is this book, Domain, Chip Zdarsky. So I haven't read that either. That's just kind of in the pool for me to grab and read or whatever. I picked up some other stuff too. I'm interested in reading about this. I mean, I need to probably go back and find the rest of these issues, but this Captain Marvel Dark Tempest, it has these 5 characters, the Pharaoh 5. This is like a black family that's in this book. So I don't know if any of you guys read this Captain Marvel book. But yeah, I just happened to pick that up. That was a cover by. I thumbed through a couple of pages and it had black characters in it. So I'm gonna go back, do a little research on that and see what's the deal with it. What's the deal on that? So I'm reading that as well. Mike King says, I think Gunn will be the one who will give us Black Lightning and Static and more Milestone characters in the DCU. He said, I put Beyond the Pale on my pull list. Yep. First 2 issues out on that as well. So I picked up that Moon Knight, Fist of Khonshu and Moon Man. Yeah. I enjoyed the first Moon Knight, the Moon Knight Zero. That was pretty cool. I'm looking forward to that. Matter out to Marvel's Ultimate Black Panther, written by Brian Edward Hill. Issue 6 was pretty good. And we got the news that these books, that the Ultimate Universe is going to be here to stay for a minute. So that's kind of good that we know that Brian Edward Hill is going to be continually writing Black Panther. And so issue 6 came out. It was a real good read. I don't know if you guys read it, but yeah, T'Challa and Khonshu kind of got into it. Damon Watson says, we truly live in 2 different ecosystems. I heard about the RDJ and Absolute DC, but Black Comic Lois is the first I heard Dennis Cowan's new book in The Return of Milestone. Well, my brother, we just tried to bring you the news that you care about. So we have to, the thing about, let me tell y'all something. The thing about what we do at Black Comic Lords is, or I should say, I can't speak for my brothers. I can only speak for Rich. But what I try to do is I don't try to give you guys the regular quote unquote news. I try to give you guys the black news. The news that I know that you would care about, the artists that I know that you would care about. That's why I don't talk about everything. There's a gang of stuff I can talk about as far as Marvel or DC is concerned, or even with the independents that I can talk about. But I only talk about the stuff that matters to, I feel like, us, because one, it's not going to get promoted or talked about. To your point, Damon, it's not going to get talked about a lot. And, again, we get this news, we get, whether it's through our Facebook channel or whether we get it through Instagram or whatever, we get the information, we have to mine the news and kind of like go through the news cycle, see what applies to us. And I try to bring it to you guys and give you the news, you know what I'm saying? So that's the least we can do, I feel, as people that say we love this fandom or that we love the people in this fandom. We want to give you the stuff that we care about, you know what I'm saying? So yeah. Kay said, Hill is cooking, eating too, we eating. Yeah, Black Panther fans, y'all eating. Yeah, man. It's gonna be a dope fall. It's been a dope summer, but the fall is probably gonna be on fire. King Sigma says, Ultimate Black Panther is the T'Challa we deserve. So Styles So Serious says, Absolute Power Origins. Well, I mean, I don't know. Is Paul still here? I talked about it briefly. Now, I will say that the Absolute Power Origins issue 1 did come out. I enjoyed it thoroughly. They gave us a little twist on Amanda Waller's origin, and it was cool. It was really cool, man. I really, really enjoyed this. Now, Paul says Black Panther fans need to pre-order Avengers 20. Yeah, there you go. Y'all heard it here. Y'all heard it here first. Paul saying y'all need to get that book, pre-order it. So we'll see. We know that Storm and T'Challa gonna be hanging out. No, he says I'm still here. I know you kind of been out. You kind of been doing your thing. Did you get a chance to read Amanda Waller's Absolute Power Origins issue 1? I was just telling the guys that it's a dope issue. It's a twist on Amanda Waller's origin story, and there's some Easter eggs in the story I think everybody will enjoy. I don't want people to sleep on Absolute Origins. I think it's going to be a dope, or Absolute Power, I should say. I think it's going to be a dope crossover. I'm not buying every crossover, I'm buying the regular books, and that's it. But I don't want nobody to sleep on it. Amanda Waller's a dope character, and we need to support that book. Yep, we need to support that book. So yeah, I enjoyed the Absolute Origins book. It was dope, man. It's some good stuff out here, guys. There's some good stuff out here. The Misery book about Cyan, the issue that came out recently, it's okay. You know what I'm saying? That's been kind of I won't say it's a snooze fest, but it's kind of like they could have kind of like did a regular Spawn book and stuck it in the back of a Spawn book. There was no need for them to like do a separate, because I don't think they're invested like that. It's interesting, needless to say, but I just think that they could have put that. That could have been like a B story, you know. So I'm not saying Amanda is a hero, but I understand. She got some villain tendencies. We'll say that. Yep. Still have not heard anything about the Milestone animated film. I hope they still have plans for it. Look, that film is in the trash, bro. Y'all hold out. Y'all keep holding out, keep hope alive, but I just think that that's gone. You know, the Milestone stuff getting to the screen. I don't know. I just don't know. Bo Big, what's happening? Appreciate you. Super chat. What up, Rich? Just joining. Saw Black Lightning in the new Justice League Unlimited book. Appreciate you, sir. Thank you for the super chat. Yeah. Out of watch, it says more likely Todd is trying to set up Misery with Cyan as her own character apart from Spawn for a future toy figure. Oh, for sure. That's how Todd makes his money. He creates the characters and then he makes a toy. And that's how he gets his money. Bo Big, Paul wants to know, did you get your gift? Thanks for all of you guys that support the channel, man. We really appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Every dollar helps. It really does. Just to give you guys a heads up as well. No, he says Vaughn for L. So when will the Epiphany engine actually be available? From what we understand and from what I think, it will be January. I think it will be January 2025 is when the book will actually be available. The last time we talked to Joe Illich and Tony Cottrell, they were like 60 pages in. I want to say like 60 pages in. So there's a lot more book for them to do. It's a 192-page book. They were like 60 pages in, so they got like literally 130 pages left to do. Christopher Priest, Dennis Cowan just joined the team. So they've been kind of moving this thing along or whatever. So now that they're fully funded, and they were fully funded 120%. So shout out to all of you guys that supported the Epiphany Engine. I want to thank Black Comic Lords and all of you guys for giving super chats during the campaign. We took a percentage of the money that we made during that campaign, and we donated it to the Epiphany Engine project. And so I'm grateful that we were able to just contribute to it. King Sigma asks, have you read Wesley Snipes' comic Exile? Yeah, we've been read that. We read that when it came out. Go get a late pass. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, we read Exiles when it was out. It was a dope book. Loved the covers. Wesley, did different covers. Some of the stuff that he did personally, and then he did homages to other titles like the Men in Black. He did a Demolition Man one, did some Blade ones, of course. So definitely enjoyed the Exile book. The True Unity builds dynasty. That's what's up. Bo Big says, I did, Paul. Thank you. Was blown away and humbled by your generosity. Thank you again. Yeah. January 2025, if USA still around. Listen, okay. Seco, if the creek don't rise, we'll all be here. We're not going to worry about the election or anything that happens after the election. We're going to stay prayerful, as always. Style So Serious X-Men, how many books you pull in each month? Okay, give me a second. The Spawn titles, regular Spawn, Gunslinger Spawn, Scorch, King Spawn. Those are the four titles, the four main titles that I have pulls on. I am getting the Misery book. Monolith was the book that just finished. There's a Sam and Twitch book that's on my pull list. And then there's a Spawn Kills the Universe book, which is like 5 issues that's on the pull list. Batman is on my pull list. Black Panther, Ultimate Black Panther is on my pull list currently. Incredible Hulk is on my pull list. Destro is on my pull list. Cobra Commander just finished. That was on my pull list. Beyond the Pale is on my pull list. Green Lantern is on my pull list. The Antagonist is on my pull list. He said, stop, Rich. I got comics on my bed staring. I got a lot of books on my pull list, bro. I'm a comic head. You know what I'm saying? That's what I do. So I'm sorry. Shout out to my man K with the super chat. He says, whether we agree or disagree, always have fun in the BCL chat. Love y'all. Much respect to you too, Paul. That's what's up. Appreciate it. We can.
Show me the money. I need to feel you, Jerry. Show me the money. Jerry, you better yell. Show me the money. I love black people.
So, Kay, I'm gonna tell you something, man. I love everybody in this community. And we can have a fair exchange of ideas. We don't all have to agree. And that's what's disappointing for me, that we can't disagree and we can't be friends. Some people, we can't be friends because we disagree. And it's not like I'm closing myself off. I've never blocked anybody over anything in regards to comics. I let people have the energy to be ignorant, stupid, crazy, or whatever. If I don't disagree, I got love for everybody. And we all can get along, because I just feel like we make this fandom interesting when we disagree. I need people that don't agree or see the world like I see. That's how I grow. That's how you grow. That's how we all grow. We can't grow if we all think the same, feel the same, act the same, do the same. No, that's boring. King Sigma, appreciate with your super chat. Always a pleasure to hang out. Yep.
Let's go! Let's go!
Now, Brooklyn says, I hope at one point this absolute power series that Black Lightning finds out that Green Arrow was responsible for his niece's death. Boy, look here. He probably dead if he finds out. He probably dead if he feels that. Now, Varnell says, how do you feel about the RDJ Doom? I'm good for it. I'm here for it. It's clearly out of left field that they did this or whatever. Some people think that that's not that he's not going to be Doom, that he's actually going to be Iron Man, and Marvel just kind of put that out there to kind of mess with everybody or whatever. But I'm good with him being Doom. You know, I think he'll make an interesting Doom. We'll see. We'll see. Mawan says, my comic shop suggested the comic book horror that I put on my pull list, The Nice House by the Sea. Yeah, I saw that book, and it's basically a part of the Nice House by the Lake series, which I think is Chip Zdarsky. No, James Tynion. Yeah. So yeah. But going back to you, Brooklyn, you know, if he finds out, then Oliver Queen is dead. I don't think he's going to find out. Could you imagine no more Green Arrow books? Nobody would care, but you know. And the thing is, they're friends. They're friends. So I don't know how that's going to come out. I don't even want to think about that, bro. It says which niece? Jefferson Pierce's niece. They did a series years ago, and Black Lightning was in a Green Arrow book. If this is the same book he's talking about, and you know, basically, he was investigating the situation. Talking about Green Arrow, Oliver McQueen. He was investigating the situation. His niece was involved. His niece wound up getting killed, and it was kind of his fault. It was kind of. It was a good story arc, though. It really was. Now, y'all do know, somebody brought up about Jamie Foxx's, you know, role in it's funny. Jamie Foxx's role in the Spawn movie. What they did to get the title of the movie is going to be King Spawn. So that was kind of cool. He's a rich product that reach in his portal to find that comic. I did a Rich Recommends on that story, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So I think the movie studio wanted a name for the film, and they came up with Jamie Foxx. He's so funny. Isn't Down Jr. going to be a multiverse Doom? He is. He is. He is. The situation with the multiverse, man, it is so funny. I love if y'all have not seen the Deadpool Wolverine movie, go see it because the TVA is in the movie too. Man, that was a funny movie, bro. That movie was only 2 hours and 8 minutes, but that thing was action packed from start to finish. That, bruh, that was a good comic book movie. That was a good comic book movie, man. Not kid friendly. Not kid friendly. You go. Don't take your kids. Don't take your nieces and nephews unless they adults. Other than that, bruh, it was a great comic book movie. So don't give them that much, Rich. I'm just saying, bro. It's a funny movie, man. I enjoyed that movie. In Marvel, is the multiverse the big deal like in DC? I mean, they use the crisis events in DC when they talk about the multiverse. It's really the only time the multiverse comes up is during the crisis events. The multiverse with Marvel is kind of always around. So I think that the multiverse means more to DC only because the only time that they really deal with it is during the crisis events. They don't really deal with it, when they're doing their regular continuity storytelling or whatever. They don't really deal with it then. The only time they deal with it is when they do a crisis. Now, what they will do is they'll do a crisis event every 3, 4, 5 years or whatever it is, man. I wish they would stop. Just leave everything alone. Just they feel like that's the way they got to reboot everything. So they bring issues of the multiverse. But the multiverse is always alive and around in Marvel. So. Because I knew he had a nephew. I think I might have the Arrow book and never read it. Yeah. Jurassic League was cool to me, like the current Ultimate stuff. Yeah, the Jurassic League movie, Jurassic book, 6 issues, very, very good, hilarious. If you're into that kind of thing in terms of seeing the superheroes as different characters. Let me tell y'all a fun thing I did this week, and I'm going to get out of here, man. For the last couple of days or so, I was listening to a lot of comic historian stuff. Now, for those who don't know, the comic historian is a guy on YouTube who creates theatrical story of comic books, big titles and that kind of thing. And so recently he passed away. Everybody knows he passed away. And so I got a chance to listen to his story on, I got a chance to listen to his death metal. I got a chance to listen to his King in Black, his War of the Realms, and I got a chance to listen to his Doom War, Black Panther Doom War. All of them were great, but the Black Panther Doom War was pretty good. Pretty good. But that guy, man, was an amazing guy. And I would just recommend that you guys, if you have not subscribed to his channel, because I know his wife, his family will want to keep his channel up and go over there and subscribe to him and go listen to something. If you can't go out and just buy events, you know what I'm saying, crossovers and that kind of thing, because he'll do a single issue and then he'll do a whole full story arc. Man, that guy's going to be missed. But I was just happened up this past week or whatever, just whatever reason, I didn't want to listen to no radio. I don't listen to the radio at all. I listen to a lot of podcasts. And so, I was like, you know what? I want to listen to something different. It's like, you know what? Let me just listen. And I've read these comic books. That's the thing. It wasn't like I didn't know these stories or I didn't read. And it's different. It's literally entertainment. It's literally like listening to the radio, a story on the radio. Because, back in the day, that's what we did. That's what our parents did. They listen to the radio. They would listen to Superman stories, Batman stories on the radio. And man, I gotta say that guy was good at what he did. So rest in peace to his family. You know, that guy was awesome. He was awesome. He did a lot of story arcs or whatever. You can go to his channel and just find, if you ever want to listen to a particular story or just hear about a story you may not have been into, you know, it's just something different to consume in a different way. He definitely enjoyed what he did, K Jr. for sure. Def Rockets, I used to listen, didn't know he had passed. When did this happen? He's been gone a couple of months. It's been a couple of months, brother. Yeah, it's been a couple of months. About a month or two, yeah. He's been gone a minute. So I just happened to just, you know, wanting to listen, and that's what I did. June 8th. That's what he said passed. He passed away in June 8th. So yeah. But you know, I just happened to just tap in to his channel and just listen. And by the way, here's the thing. I knew that he had passed, but I didn't listen to it in light of him passing. I literally listened to it as someone that just wanted to hear a comic book story. So I didn't even really have any connective tissue like, oh, this is so sad, or this is this. I literally listened to this as someone who had just been exposed to this type of medium in terms of him telling these stories. I really, like the King in Black story that he did, I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed the King in Black story. I have all those books, read all those stories, whatever, but it was just like I'm reliving this, but I'm just listening. I'm just listening to this. So yeah. So yeah, man, that's y'all cherish one another, bro. Y'all cherish one another, man, because life is not promised. And he was only in his 40s, like you said. So yep. Mike King says, I was wondering at the end of Deadpool, Wolverine, other characters return to Earth, all living together in Deadpool's world. Yeah. Yeah. Rest in peace, the comic story and great dude, put in a lot of work in his content for comics. Yeah. That's why I say, man, it's a lot of fun stuff on here. It's a lot of toxic dudes online, but there are some guys that are solid, down to earth, hardcore, for the cause, and believe in what they're doing. You know, put your energies toward that kind of stuff. Yeah. So C. Cole says, Time Waits, #1 by Chip Zdarsky, final cut off this weekend with a black lead. Okay, that's what's up. With that said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, man. We're 2 hours in. I'm going to hit you guys with the benediction. The benediction comes from Proverbs 25, verses 21 and 22. Proverbs 25, 21 and 22. It says, if your enemy is hungry, feed him. If he is thirsty, give him drink. Doing this, you'll be heaping burning coals on his head. And you know what'll happen? The Lord will reward you. From the stronghold that is Black Comic Lords and Black Superheroes Forever, it's your boy Rich. And until next time, we say peace. Thanks again, guys, for the super chat. We'll see you Wednesday night with the Wednesday wrap up. Till then, we out.